Hey everyone, I'm Spider-Man 1991, and I like to read comic books. And these are all the comic books I read for the week of September 17th, 2014. This was a pretty light week for me, so let's get started with the only comic that I got from DC this week, and didn't even come out this week. It came out weeks ago. I just got it because I had some extra money this week for my comics, so I got Batman Eternal number 21. Basically, this is the big reveal issue. We learned that, first of all, let me just say that Falcone is released from prison, and Gordon is officially sentenced to life in Blackgate Prison, and Jason Bard, the new commissioner of Gotham PD, has also released the Architect from Blackgate. The Architect was the main antagonist from the Batman miniseries Gates of Gotham, which was written by Scott Snyder and it featured Dick Grayson Batman, Red Robin. I haven't read it yet, but now I now have a reason to read it, since this character will be significant in Batman Eternal. Also, meanwhile, back at Wayne Manor, Alfred is about to tell Julia Pennyworth why he left. When suddenly the manor's under attack, he puts Julia in the safe room. Then he goes hunting for who broke in, and turns out the person who broke in is also the big bad of this series, so to speak. And that person basically attacks Alfred and injects him with Scarecrow fear toxin, like right in his head, and leaves him there. Fortunately, Julia is able to get out of the panic room and find Alfred, but unfortunately the villain escaped. She tries to call an ambulance, but Alfred tells her no, don't, and explains to her she needs to take him to the grandfather clock in Bruce's study and turn it to the time when and turn it to 10:45, and which is, as we know, is the entrance to the Batcave. Okay, so, and also the big bad in this issue is, if you want to know, skip ahead until I show up the cover again. Okay, the big bad is Hush. That's right, Hush is back, and he is working with Jason Bard to take control of Gotham City. Okay, so I really like this issue a lot. I like how they used Hush as pretty much the main villain in this. I thought that was great. We haven't seen Hush in a while, and obviously the way that this plan involved Falcone, this new guy Jason Bard, and now the Architect. It seems like this is definitely a plan that took a lot of time to prepare. So I think Hush, I think using a Batman villain that hasn't been seen in a while. In this case, I don't think Hush has appeared since the series Batman Streets of Gotham. So using that villain, I think, is a good idea. Is definitely a good way to bring the character back. I think Batman Eternal, it is going to rely on lesser known Batman villains and try to re-update them from the New 52. Although most of the stuff in the Batman franchise has remained the same in the New 52 with just a few minor differences. So I think this series is going to use a lot of B and C level Batman villains instead of the main ones like Two-Face, Penguin, Joker, to help tell the story, and I think that's great. I think Batman Eternal is a great series. I don't get it anymore because it comes out every week, and I couldn't keep up with it. Price wise, so that's why I think I'm probably gonna wait till I have extra money, then go back and buy all the issues I missed and just read them all at once. Okay, time for Marvel with Daredevil number 8. This issue starts off with Matt Murdock and Kristen McDuffie on visiting the zoo. Then Kirsten reveals to Matt that she wants him to come with her to see her father, who she hasn't spoken with in years, because she felt inspired after the way Matt met up with his recent story with his mother and everything. So they go meet Kirsten's father, and at first Matt's inner monologue says that he's getting a good reading off this guy. He feels like this guy could be a good, as is probably a very down to earth person. But then her dad reveals that he wanted to speak to Matt about possibly making a book deal, since he's a public he no longer has a secret identity. He figured he and Matt could work out a deal where Matt could write an autobiography, which he thinks will make a lot of money. And of course, Matt says he'll think about it. But then on the cab ride home, he tells Kristen Kirsten, yeah, I'm not going to do it. And then later the deputy mayor calls him, and he goes and investigates a woman's suicide, and it turns out that the woman had a child whose father is the Purple Man, aka also known as Zeb Kilgrave. For those of you who don't know, the Purple Man is a villain who basically can control people's minds, and as his name describes, he's got purple hair, purple skin because of the side effect of his abilities. He was a Daredevil foe, but recently when Brian Michael Bendis used him in that Jessica Jones series, he became much more sinister. In this case, Purple Man has been collecting all of the children he's had with various women. So far, there are about 5 of them, and he's also activating their powers, like basically turning their skin and hair purple as well, giving them his abilities, and at his apartment or something, he's trying to get the kids together so that basically he's trying to sort of make a sort of family, and he's trying to get the kids to love him, so to speak. And he's not trying to control them, but then the kids realize they could control him, and thus, like, all 5 of them unite and take control of Purple Man and control him into walking into oncoming traffic, and he gets hit by a streetcar. Then the Purple Children decide to go explore San Francisco. Okay, the Purple Children in this definitely reminded me of Children of the Corn. If you haven't seen that movie, it's basically about this town of children who took over the town and killed all the adults, and this reminded me of that movie. Like, definitely creepy children, take mind control powers. This is definitely going to be a real interesting story. Also, Purple Man was hit by a trolley, but we don't know exactly if he will survive or not. So yeah, definitely the Purple Children look very interesting and very creepy, I will say that. And also, this issue did sort of spend half the issue sort of taking a look at Matt and Kirsten's relationship, and so far they're doing well, which probably means that something bad might come their way soon. But more on that later. But overall, this issue was great. Another solid issue done by Mark Waid. Who's killing it on this title. I mean, seriously, I say it every time I get an issue of Daredevil, but you should really buy this book. Alright, next up, last comic. Uncanny Avengers number 24, the lead-in to Axis for the Uncanny Avengers. Basically, Wolverine leaves the team to go do with his own stuff in 3 Months to Die. And after he leaves, Havoc, Rogue, and the Scarlet Witch are attacked and then captured by the S-Men, and they're brought to the Genosha prison camp. While the trio is unconscious, though, Rogue experiences a vision from Charles Xavier, who's apparently still able to summon a small fragment of his consciousness thanks to the Red Skull ripping out his brain and stuff. However, he can't last long, and he tells Rogue that basically she needs to get the Scarlet Witch away from the Red Skull. Also, that the inhibitor collars they wear only stop the powers that they know about. Which, when Rogue comes conscious again, she realizes that she can break out of her inhibitor collar because Wonder Man is still bonded to her, and she still has Wonder Man's super strength. So she busts Havoc and Scarlet Witch out of prison. They sneak it through the Genosha prison camp, and then until they find out Magneto is being held by the turtle guy of the S-Men. And they break in, knock out the turtle dude, and free Magneto. And when they say they need to get out of here, call the Avengers and the X-Men, Magneto refuses to leave, saying he's not going to leave any of the mutants or other prisoners here to suffer by the hands of the Red Skull. And at that point, Red Skull shows up with the rest of the S-Men, and that's where the issue ends. Okay, well, needless to say, if you're going to be reading Access, you should definitely be reading these issues of Uncanny Avengers, because this was where all the initial seeds for Axis began. This was where, during the series, this was where the Red Skull got Charles Xavier's brain attached to his. So I really think that before Axis starts, you should probably read just maybe the last issue, this issue, and the next issue of Uncanny Avengers. Also, we're kind of getting it. Also, I think the probably significant heroes of this story will be Havoc, Scarlet Witch, and Rogue. Rogue, obviously, and I did look ahead at the Marvel solicitations for the next few months, and it does appear that after the next issue of Uncanny Avengers number 25, the series might be going on a bit of a hiatus while Axis is going on, which is unfortunate because I think that if they had kept Uncanny Avengers going, or at least kept during the rest of the series, they could have. That would have been a little easier, but I guess not, since Rick Remender's writing it. So technically, I think the main event would still need to be in its own series. Also, am I going to be getting Axis? I'm still not sure yet. I might, but I am getting a bunch of other Marvel series that are going to tie into the event. So I do not know whether or not I will get the main series yet. But yeah, overall, I think if you're going to be reading Axis, and I think, by the way, I do think the Axis event is going to be awesome. I really want to try to get the series if I can. But overall, if you are interested in reading Axis, which I highly recommend, you should at least check out the first issue. You should also probably read Uncanny Avengers just to give you a frame of mind about what's going to be happening. Okay, that's it for my comics for this video. I also want to point out that I did know that Superior Spider-Man number 33 came out this week. Unfortunately, I recently did switch comic book shops, and when I was giving them the list of titles I get monthly, I forgot to say Superior Spider-Man, but I knew there was only going to be 2 issues for Spider-Verse, so I didn't really think it was that big a deal. Big mistake, because I didn't get to the store till late on Wednesday, and all the issues of Superior Spider-Man were sold out. And the other comic book shop that's close by to where I am, they had the issue, but they only accepted cash, which I didn't have enough on me to get Superior Spider-Man. I didn't want to go to an ATM, so I just ordered it on eBay, and I was also able to order the Edge of Spider-Verse issue that features Gwen Stacy as the universe with Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman. So those 2 comics are probably going to arrive next week, and when they do, I'm going to make another video where I'll review both of those to be kind of like a little bonus video. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Sorry about the missing Superior Spider-Man issues. I'm going to get it soon, don't worry. And if you want, check out my other reviews, check out my other videos. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.